So today's session will be a continuation of Atma Darshana session that we had in Reading, UK. For around we had two different workshops on 4 days, and it's a continuation of that. So ideally, we earlier used to do it for 9 months, and since we had a good interaction in real life, so we can continue the sessions offline for a few more months. That's one session per month, and the other weeks of the month we'll continue with Bhagavad Gita. Okay, so before we take up today's topic, okay, today's topic is enlightenment. What is enlightenment? And I wanted to discuss and bring clarity on various aspects of enlightenment. Then we have heard there's so many different words: nirvana, moksha, enlightenment, liberation, self-realization. Do they all mean the same thing? Okay. And what does it mean? What happens in enlightenment? Can I get enlightened? Or am I enlightened already? Okay. So these are some of the uh, touch points, and to bring clarity to, according to the understanding of Sanatana Dharma, according to Vedanta, even according to Buddhism, Jainism, according to all the enlightened masters, uh, what is enlightenment? But before we go to that, let's do a quick recap from previous session. So, what is the understanding from the previous session, maybe, or what, any questions or any clarity from the last time that we spoke? Radhika?
As I remember last time, we emphasized on the fact that I'm not the body, I'm not the mind, I'm not the intellect, but I'm that Brahman, and nothing can touch me. No
Okay.
sorrows, no joy, no pain, no pleasure can touch me.
Okay.
That's all I can recollect.
Okay. So, is that understanding, realization? What is it? What is it? Memory?
That is the truth.
Okay. Is it your truth?
Yeah, what I understood from that session, I accept that as a truth.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very good. Deepak?
We discussed quite a bit about what I'm not. I think we did the exercise of the body, mind, and soul. And for me, it is more about still in the early stages of reaffirming that the self, I am Brahman, and you get entangled with the I thought, which is what I'm every time I'm trying to clearly distinguish, because it is still hard for me, right? Like when we are with you, it looks like it's very clear, but when as soon as you walk out, I think the effect diminishes.
Okay.
and then you start to kind of thinking the I, which is the fake I can use the word fake in that,
Yeah.
and I think that is going to take time, Guruji, isn't it? I don't know, like for me it's taking time.
Okay. So, to the content of today's discussion of enlightenment, we'll add this part also. Is enlightenment, does enlightenment take time? Okay. Or is it instantaneous? Okay. So we'll figure that out. Okay. Good. So I know from the teaching, I realize that I am Brahman, but there's a conflict, because if I am Brahman, why should I still struggle and find a job? If I am Brahman, why should I still worry about my mortgage or daughter or family? Okay, there's something I know that this makes sense, and I'm Brahman. I'm not the body. I'm not the mind. But there is a force of the habituated pattern of the body and the mind. Oh, there's a force of thinking, and I find myself again lost in the same old patterns. Okay, so if and then that brings the question of enlightenment. That if that's the case, then what is enlightenment? In the case of enlightenment, will I be free from these patterns? That means, will a day come when I'm enlightened, which when where I clearly say this from this moment on I'm enlightened, and before this I was living like this. Now something has changed. So I, I still don't feel that point. Okay, is that a fair statement? I still
Correct.
feel the point where something has to happen that's not happened. All this is fine. I understand clearly, but there's something that has to happen that has not happened. So we'll find out what is that something. Is there something like that something? Okay, does it make sense?
It does.
Now I should be at rest. Okay, internally I should be at rest. That internal rest is not happening. Is that okay to say?
Yeah.
And why is it not happening? Because this I am not the body, I am not the mind, I am not the intellect. I am Brahman is the truth. Okay, I am already that is the truth. If there is already the truth, I am already that, then why can't I just be myself? Okay, so these are the key uh, issues that need to be resolved. This is a spiritual journey. Okay, this going into the core inner formation. Okay, going to the in your concepts. Okay, and untangling or detangling and peeling off the ignorance layer by layer. This is the spiritual process. Okay, until a point of time when there'll be a crystal clarity of deep intuitive knowing of uh, I am that. What is that? And I am that. And no other conflicting thoughts are arising. So, what is told in the Shastra about enlightenment is Vidyate Hridaya Grantihi, Chidyate Sarva Samshayaha, Tasmin Drishte Paravare. This is what they explain happens in enlightenment. So when somebody says I got enlightened or I'm enlightened, this is the impact. Vidyate Hridaya Granti. Hridaya Granti means there's a knot. Granti. Granti means knot. Okay. Hridaya is the heart center. At the heart center is the emotional center. Okay. There's always a heaviness. Okay. When you don't have something in the world, there is heaviness by default because you don't have, you know, you don't have. Okay. And all the heaviness until you get it. Okay. Somebody who's not educated constantly has a heaviness that I need education. Somebody who has education, I need job. Somebody has job, I need spouse. Somebody has spouse, I need success. Okay. Somebody has success, I need something more. Okay. So that is it just perpetuates that incompleteness. And there is a inner disturbance in the background. Constantly there's a disturbance in the background. Vidyate Hridaya Grantihi, that explodes because of enlightenment. What it is, we'll understand. What is enlightenment, we'll understand. But because of gnana, because of realization, Vidyate Hridaya Granti, there's a deep sense of fulfillment and peace. Okay, first thing. Second thing, chidyate sarva samshayaha. All doubts, there are so many doubts in the mind. The doubts about myself, the doubts about life, the doubt about reality, the doubt about what is perceived, the doubt about time, past, present, future, all the doubts, they get wiped out. Because all the doubts are because there is some doubter. There's somebody who's doubting, right? For whom is the doubt? The doubt is for the ego. Okay? That ego, which is the false I or the shadow, that ego is seen as an object. Okay? Now ego is subject. The complete objectification of ego, in the process of complete objectification of the ego, the doubts get clarified. Okay? And how does that happen? I'll again take it up in the step-by-step explanation of what is enlightenment. So, vidyate hridayanti, chidyate sarva samshayaha, the doubts get cleared. One doubts get cleared because there is an interaction with the Sadguru. There is a process of Shravana, Manana, and Nidyasa that clarifies lots of doubts. Okay, the dialogue with the master clarifies a lot of doubts. Then there is an intuitive understanding, which is called aparoksha gnana. The master teaching is called paroksha gnana. Okay, paroksha gnana removes a lot of doubts. Then there's a aparoksha gnana, your self-knowledge, that removes the doubts. Vidite hridayanti chiddite sarva samshaya tasmin drishte paravare. Then there is the sight, paravare, beyond the appearance. Right now, the sight is limited to appearance. What is beyond this appearance, what is beyond perception, you don't know. But in enlightenment, the drishti, the vision, goes beyond the perception, beyond what is the so-called appearance. So what this is also, we'll understand. So today's session is about understanding this statement, Vidyate hridayanti chidyate sarva samshaya tasmin drishte paravare, and understanding the process of enlightenment. And what is enlightenment? What is the difference of enlightenment with probably nirvana, self-realization, or the other spiritual terminologies that we have heard of? And is enlightenment instantaneous, or does it take time? If it take time, how long will it take for me to get enlightened? Okay, so all of these questions we'll try to get clarity on. Is that okay? Any other questions to add to the list about enlightenment? Manoji? So people were just sharing their insights and learning from the previous session. So do you have anything to share before we start today's session? You're on mute, Manuji. If not, Anita can answer the question, same question.
I had a very basic question, Guruji. Like Deepak ji said, whilst we're in these sessions and after having come to those individual sessions, there's better understanding of what enlightenment is and how one should detach or disassociate from what the body feels and the mind feels to what the Atma feels. But in certain instances, the small little day-to-day stuff, we tend to forget. We tend to go back to our original fake egoistic nature. It's sort of reining in and trying to bring back that, I don't know, the Atma to its true form, to say all of this is Maya. You shouldn't be pulled into it. I think that is more challenging.
Okay, so The Atma is always in its true form. First thing to understand. Atma is never ever affected. Atma is like this screen, the theater. Okay, no matter what movie is going on the screen is never affected by it. You understand? Now, between the movie character, and the screen, what are you? Anita?
Sorry, I'm trying to digest the question.
So, there's a movie theater. There's
Yeah.
there's a movie going on. In the movie, there are characters, objects, life, death, everything is happening, events.
Correct.
Okay. And the movie keeps on changing. Okay.
Correct.
The movie has weathers, different seasons, then locations, aliens, bomb, weapons, everything is there. There is suffering, there is joy, there is enlightenment, there is some enlightened being coming. Okay, there's Mahabharata happening, Krishna giving Bhagavad Gita, everything's happening. So there is a movie, there's a movie character, then there is a screen. Out of this, what is you? What is Atma?
Atma is witnessing all of that as an audience.
Atma is screen. Atma is the background which supports all of this to happen.
Okay.
Right? Without the screen, you can't project. Can the projection happen without the screen?
No.
Right? We have seen, right, in the office when there is no that screen to project, we try to project it on the wall or whiteboard. Have you tried that with a projector? Yep. So there's a distortion. You need a screen to project. That screen is called Atma. On the screen of Atma, the world is projected with its characters, people, events, and everything. But no matter what is happening, nothing is touching Atma. Is that clear?
So, Guruji.
One second. Is that clear? That part is distinction clear?
It is. It is, Guruji.
Screen is Atma. Then on the screen called Atma, which is the self, there is a projection. That is why there's a picture shown of Narayana who is sleeping on the Shesha. Anita, you have seen that, no?
Yes.
Narayana is sleeping on the Shesha. He's in Yoga Nidra. He's blissful. That is the perpetual state of self. Sat Chit Ananda, bliss. In that bliss, there is a projection. There's from the navel of Narayana, there's a Brahmaji coming. Okay, the Brahmaji represents the movie. You understand? But the movie, Brahma is sitting on a lotus. Why lotus of all the things? He could have sat on a throne. Anyway, he's the creator of the world. But he's sitting on a lotus. The lotus represents the absolute non-attachment to the surrounding. Okay, the lotus is born in mud, but nothing of the mud touches the lotus. And even the water droplets don't sit on the lotus. And the lotus fully blooms. Okay, so nothing touches the screen. No, you can project anything, but it doesn't touch the screen. So Atma is never, ever, ever affected. The question is, what do you identify with? If you say I am Atma, then that moment you become free. Otherwise, if you identify with the character in the movie, then you suffer. The reality is, you are the screen. You are the Atma. So that today we'll understand. Okay, that is the process of enlightenment. Understanding that I am the screen. Any doubt, Anita?
Guruji.
Is it clear?
It is, yes. But like, I think continuously I'm sort of still identifying with, not with the Atma.
Not with the Atma. Okay. So the issue in life, that is exactly the problem statement. The issue in life is not any other issue that we tell, right? There's somebody else is the issue, economy is the issue, job is the issue, health is the issue, nothing is the issue. The only issue is wrong identification. You understand? What is the issue in life? That's called avidya. The wrong self-identity is called avidya. Okay? And the removal and avidya can be removed. What it can be removed with? With right knowledge. And that right knowledge is called Atma Gnana. Self-knowledge. Yes, Deepak.
No, Guruji, I was just trying to get the technicalities right. So you said the screen and the observer and the movie getting played. So I thought Atma is the observer, but yeah, it is interesting to know the screen itself is the self.
The screen itself is a self. And the nature of the
Correct. Yeah.
screen, in the case of consciousness, in the case of Atma, it is a screen and it also observes the projection.
Correct. Yeah, that was a technicality that I actually learned.
Yeah, in the
But
in,
going back,
in the movie,
yeah,
screen is insentient. Okay, it's
yeah,
a piece of cloth. It's an insentient layer. In the case of consciousness or Atma, it is a sentient, conscious awareness. Okay, in which, so the closest example I can give you is your dream state.
mm,
In your dream state, in your sleep, there is a space of awareness, your awareness, in which a world gets projected, characters get projected, events get projected, and you experience that world. You understand? So
yeah,
simultaneously, you are the screen in which the world is getting projected. You are also the observer who is observing the world. That is the only difference between the example of the movie's theater. So you can't always convert these analogies literally. There's just pointers, but when you apply to consciousness, you have to understand not only is consciousness the screen, it also it acts as a screen. It also acts as awareness of the objects appearing on the screen.
yeah, yeah.
The
So
only thing it cannot become aware of is itself. Okay, because to become aware of something is to objectify something. You can only become aware of objects. Okay, when you try to know yourself, okay, when the whole process of creation and projection is the consciousness trying to know itself. Okay, now that is the journey of consciousness. In that journey, the individual will, in trying to realize the consciousness, merges back into the consciousness. So I'll take this up. Okay, so it's good. So one more question added to the enlightenment thread. Yes, Radhika, your question.
Yes, Guruji. So you mentioned about that Brahma Granthi. So what I understood is
Hridaya
we
Granthi.
can
Hridaya Granthi.
Yeah.
Three
I
Granthi.
mean,
Brahma
yeah,
Granthi, Vishnu Granthi, Rudra Granthi.
yeah.
Yeah.
Using our intellect and the knowledge, I can become I can experience pleasure. Using the intellect, I can also clarify my doubts. But the third one that you said, seeing something beyond our perception, that's not in my control. It requires that anugraha, right? That grace of God. So
Correct.
how much is my effort, and is
Okay.
it all anugraha? Is it predestined that who will get enlightened in this janma or in the next janma? And what is it? Is it just my effort? And it will not be right to say it's just my effort. It's also grace. So there's a bit conflict there. Like
Okay.
uh,
So One more question. Is enlightenment, uh, is enlightenment instantaneous or it takes time?
Hmm.
And is enlightenment my effort,
Yeah,
or is it purely because of grace, or is it a combination of both? I should
right.
the reach out, put out my hand, and God will put out His hand, and both of our hands will meet, or is it only because of me? Okay, and so how does it happen? So we'll address all of that first. So then, first we'll start with. So any other questions to add? Shall we start with what is
Really,
enlightenment? Deepak.
I don't know how to. I mean, how to frame this question, but it is similar to what Anita ji has been telling, right? Like, so whenever we meet you and whenever we are in this group, everything makes sense. But then we get drifted out, right? Like, so I know, like, I think in one of the other classes you also have told there is no timeline you can put for the self-realization. It will just happen. You have to just be aware of it. But that practicing that becoming aware itself is what, like, you get drifted away. Like, I don't know how to put this question. Like, so my question to you is, what are the tools we can use on a daily basis to play our part and the role as being a dad, as being part of a society, as being husband, but then also kind of do this journey of self-realization. I know there is no expectation you can attach to it,
Yeah.
as long as you can get that balance. And I can see in myself, right? Like, after attending these classes, the more and more clarity you get, the more and more quieter and calmer you become. But how do you kind of like, I don't know, like, being an engineer, I'm just wanting to know what are the tool tips, what is a shortcut things that
There's
you can.
absolute shortcut. Okay, there is a advanced technology. It is called. Have you heard of swear jar?
Swear jar. Yes.
You heard of swear? What is a swear jar?
I mean, you just,
You put
went
money in
out in
every
a.
time. Yeah.
When the child says a bad word, it has to put money in the swear jar, right? So you keep a avidya jar at home.
Mm,
Okay. Every time you make a statement, make a statement outside. That's fine. But every time you think, you feel that I did something. Okay. Let's say you go and make coffee, your wife's and your wedding anniversary tomorrow, and you want to make a breakfast for your wife after 20 years or whatever years. You make it and
oh,
you
I
say,
make every day.
huh?
I make every day.
You make every Okay, so the moment you say I make every day, you go and put 1 pound in the swear jar.
There you go.
Okay, I will assure you, by the end of the week, you will not make a mistake. That swear jar will be overflowing with money. Okay, it will hurt you a lot that you are losing so much money, and you can't take back the money. Okay, whatever money is in the swear jar, you have to go and donate it somewhere. So you get two benefits. One is you will get established in the self. You will become free from avidya. Okay, you'll never ever tell I did something, I am thinking something, I am Deepak, I am not enlightened. All those stupidities will go out from your life. Second thing is you will also do seva to the world. That's the most advanced technology. It's simplest, no? Have a swear jar. Have a avidya jar at home. Whenever you make a mistake of saying, I am body, I am mind, I am intellect, I am identity, put 1 pound. Is it too much?
No
Then,
fair.
then you will only have the vision of how long it will take for you to get enlightened. How long do you think it will take for you to get enlightened by this technology? Especially now that you're unemployed, it will be faster. If you're employed, you'll tell, okay, अगले salary में दे देंगे. अभी salary नहीं आएगा तो you'll be more cautious. Okay.
Understood.
So this is not a joke, okay? This is real. Put a swear jar, put a avidya jar. It will bring awareness. The problem is the mind is slipping back into ignorance. Okay, so I'll again talk about this. So we'll add this question. The question is, what are the ways? First of all, are these methods, tools, tricks, shortcuts required to be established? If they are required, what are the? First of all, we don't know whether they're required. Okay, the fact that you're telling it's required might be a wrong understanding of enlightenment itself. You understand? Because if you're slipping, if that means you're losing it, then it's not enlightenment. Enlightenment means something that I don't lose. If I've lost it, then it's not enlightenment. Then I need correction in my understanding of what is enlightenment. Okay, so let's start with that. Let's start with the understanding of what is enlightenment and then work backwards to all these questions. Is that okay?
Awesome.
Is it clear? So let's start with the question, what is enlightenment? So enlightenment means, so there are many words. There's enlightenment, liberation, nirvana, mukti, moksha, self-realization. Okay. So I'll talk about the other words. First, let me start with what is enlightenment. And whenever I use the word enlightenment, okay, whenever a guru uses the word enlightenment, what do they mean? So I see this phone. What is this? Phone. Now to see the phone, I need a light, a physical light. No physical light, there is no perception, sight possible. Is that clear? Okay. So that means in the light of the light, in the light, I'm able to see some object. Perception happens in light. Is that clear? Any doubts in that? Now, in the light, this light, the light is physical light, but beyond the physical light, you see this phone. The image of the phone goes into your eyes. It goes into your brain where no light can reach. Please understand. The actual sight is happening not in the physical light. Where is it happening? It's happening in your brain where no light can reach. There is no possibility that brain is in the skull. There's no possibility of light entering the skull. You understand? That means it is not the physical light that's making you see. It is the light of awareness. You understand? There is a light of awareness. There is an awareness. Okay? And in that awareness, I have an ability to pay attention. Okay? So for example, right now I'm aware. But maybe in my perception, I don't see some of the objects that are there in the room because I'm not paying attention to them. You understand? My awareness is there that I'm in the room, but I don't have specific attention to the details in the room. But I can choose to direct my attention. You understand? I direct my attention to the phone. When I direct my attention to the phone, I have lost my attention to some other object. Is it clear? Any doubt so far? So I have the capability, there is awareness in me, and there is also capability to pay attention. Okay? Now, with this attention, with paying of this attention, I recognize the world. I interact with the world. So my perception is, what is life? Life is perception. Perception is I see a world, I see, smell, hear, taste, touch. Okay, 5 perception. So life is perception. And you don't want to lose any part of the perception. Right? You don't want to lose any one element. If you lose one element, your whole perception changes. Now you're looking at a world through your 5 sense organs, okay, and paying attention to various objects and seeing various objects. And whenever you see an object, you know the object. Okay, so you know when you see this thing, you know there's a mind opens up the memory and says it is phone. There is a knowing of the object. Okay, now the knowing of the object is that you are enlightened about the object. In the not the way the word enlightenment is used is I'm enlightened about this subject, means I know the subject. I'm enlightened about the fact that you're sitting here, means I know that you're sitting here, I can perceive it. Okay, so enlightenment means knowledge of the object. But in the spiritual sense, it is different. In the spiritual sense, enlightenment means not knowledge of the object, but knowledge of the subject. Okay, you always are able to put your attention, think about, address challenges, and about the world, about objects. And the farther the object, the better your vision. For example, somebody's child is there. There's come to you've gone to a gathering. Somebody else's child is there. That child is doing something wrong. Okay, or somebody comes and tells, I have this problem. You have absolute clarity of what is the solution and what the child is doing wrong, right? And you're able to give maybe if the person is asking you, you're able to tell the advice. If the person doesn't ask you, you'll think, oh, that person should have asked me, I would have given the right advice. Okay, but that same principle applied on you, it falls apart. When it is your child, you have a blind spot. Okay, the moment it comes closer to you, to the subject, there is a blurred vision. Okay, so you're always able to comment about how the politician should run the country, how the cricketer should play the match. Okay, how everybody is doing something wrong, how the husband is doing wrong, how the wife is doing wrong. But the moment it comes to yourself, you are not able to recognize what is the problem, what is the solution, where is the problem. Why? Because there is a blind spot and there's an interference of the subject called I. So there's a I, there's a me, and there's a my, which interferes in my perception. You understand? So looking at an object is not a problem. Okay, looking at the object is not at all a problem. The problem is when it comes to me, when it comes something closer to me, I have a blind spot. About objects, I'm very clear. Okay, but I don't understand that my body, mind, intellect, which is also an object, is actually become a subject to me. What I'm trying to say is everything outside of the body, mind, intellect, you're able to see as an object. But you're not able to see body, mind, intellect, and identity as object. Because it's close to you.
Guruji, can you repeat that again? Sorry.
I'll repeat that again. because of your sense objects, the sense organs, there is a perception. The perception is always about objects. Is it clear? Okay. In the process of perception, and to perceive, you need an instrument. Without the perceiving instrument, you cannot perceive. Is that glasses here, dog? Any glasses, sunglass, anything? In the clinic? Just 1 second. No. No, it's okay. It's okay, leave it. Okay, I was trying to find the glasses. I imagine I have a glasses. Okay, Shanti is wearing a glasses. Okay, Deepak is wearing the glasses. Okay. Now, the glasses is an instrument that I use for perception. No glasses, no perception. Okay. So I use my glasses. I wear an instrument for perception. The instrument that I'm wearing is also object. Please understand. But in the process of perception, I forget that I'm wearing a glasses. The glasses become part of the subject. Okay. And because it's close to me, I forget about it. I have a blind spot. You understand? And my attention is always on the object. Is it clear? So my life is nothing but object, 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 object. Okay. And who is seeing all these objects? Subject, I. And there's a I, there's a me, and there's a mine. These three are subject. I, me, mine. Clear? That I, me, mine is using what to see? What? It's using something to see the world. What is it using?
Perception.
It's using the body, no?
Yes.
It's using the body to perceive the world. Now, in the process of using the body, it forgets the body is also an object, like the glasses. It starts thinking the body is me, subject. You understand? First problem. First problem that happens is I see the world. This is first separation comes in. This is the world. This is me. You cut the body out of the world. You said world, me as a body. Without understanding, the body is also part of the world. The body is Panchabhuta. World is what? World is called Prapancha. Have you heard a word called Prapancha? You know what is Prapancha? Panaji, you've heard Prapanch? The word called Prapanch, have you heard? The world is called Prapanch. Panch means 5. Prapanch means the world is made up of Panchabhutas. Akasha, Prithvi, Jala, Vayu, Agni. 5 elements. What is the body made up of? Same 5 elements. The body is also part of the world. But in the process of perception, you split it. You split saying that this is me and that is not me. Meaning, this is subject, that is object. You understand? Why? Because this is close to me. This is very close to me. Whatever is close to me, I get a blind spot. Okay? And it is me, it is mine, and this is I. Is it clear? Now there is a subject and there is an object. If you are able to objectify totally even the subject, which is body, mind, intellect, ego, I, me, mine, that's called enlightenment. You understand? Now, the problem is, in the process of perception, whenever you see the object, you actually don't see the object. The moment you see any object, let's say you're walking in the street, the moment you see some person or some flower or tree or car, whatever you see, you only see it for some time. The moment you see it, your mind, right, your mind pulls out a labeling mechanism, okay, to understand what that object is. Let's say you see a car, immediately a record is opened. Car, it's a car, but it doesn't stop there. Okay, it opens car, immediately think about your car. That person is very rich. I'm so poor, I have such a bad car. It's all because of my parents. They didn't give me the right education. So looking at a car, the thought went somewhere to your parents who are not even there. You understand? And that is called avidya or maya. What is there is car, but what you experience and see is your impression. So there is an interference in your perception. Do you understand? There's an interference of a subject with its impressions in your perception, and that you call as life. So you can think about it this way: you're having some important discussion. Okay, you're seeking a job or you're seeking a business deal, and you've invited the potential partner somewhere, and you have gone there, and there is a notorious child who's constantly interfering, bugging you in the conversation. Okay, what will happen? What happens? Have you experienced such interference? There's a constant interference in a transaction. It distorts the transaction. It brings frustration. It brings stress, right? Now that is your perpetual state. Because that child, which is constantly interfering, creating noise, is your mind. The mind is constantly bringing past and future in your present experience, where there is no past, there is no future. You understand? That's why the moment you came into the session, you made the statement that Guruji, when I am in your presence, there is peace, and when the presence is not there, there is disturbance. Okay, the moment you made that statement, that your mind is already jumped into the past. Okay, it has forgotten the present moment. It has forgotten the fact that you're in the presence right now. That means that statement itself is invalid, because you're in the presence right now and you're already worried about the future when I will not be there. Okay, you understand? And that is distorting the present moment. Is it clear? You're understanding? So there is an interference in my life. There's a constant interference. This interference is the interference of my impressions, vasanas. Okay, interference of the ego. The I, me, mine. I, me, mine constantly interferes. Enlightenment means a life of no interference. Internally, there's no interference. It's a pure awareness, pure perception. What that is cannot be told in words, because the moment you tell in words that this is what it is, it becomes another label. It is pure experience of reality. Like the closest example I can give is of a child, which doesn't have that functioning mind yet, labeling mind yet, impressions yet. Is a pure non-judgmental vision of life. is enlightenment. That is why the enlightened one, the Gnani, is absolutely non-judgmental. The mind is fully judgmental. Okay, the mind is constantly judging. Okay, it's comparing this moment, previous moment. Okay, is Guruji doing a better class this time? Last class was much better. He used to told many jokes. This class is not telling jokes at all. It's constantly trying to judge. Okay, am I understanding? Last class I understood so nicely. This time I'm not understanding. Am I spiritually evolving or going down? There's a constant interference. Okay, so, and that is happening because of the subject. Is it clear? First part is clear. Perception. Perception can only happen because of the underlying awareness and the instrument of perception, which is body. But the body is also part of the perception. It's an object. Okay. Now, in the process of perception, there is a split created: object, world, and subject. Without understanding that the body is also object. What is the mind? What is the mind? Object. Okay. What is the intellect? Object. Okay. Then what is left? What is left is I. What is this I? I is, you have a feeling of I am. Right? You have a feeling throughout the body. There's a feeling of I am. Now, the feeling of I am, is it object or subject?
The feeling of I am is object.
The feeling of I is also an object.
Correct.
Okay. When you're able to objectify I am, you are free. That's called enlightenment. When you're able to witness even the I am, it's called enlightenment. Because the I am is also a reflection, shadow. Then you rest in pure awareness, which is pure subject. There's no saying subject, object. It is just a pure awareness, non-judgmental vision. It's called Sakshi. You understand? Sakshi means witness. It's a pure witness consciousness. So enlightenment is total objectification, which is objectify the body, mind, intellect. Okay? Then understanding even the I am is an object. Then understand whatever object is perceived is only an appearance. It's a conditioning, it's a conditioned temporary appearance. No object is permanent. Is that clear? Is any object permanent? The universe itself is impermanent. Okay, no object is permanent. So if it is not permanent, that means it's not real. It's only it has an expiry date. You understand? It has some expiry date. So it appears. It appears, and after some time it will disappear. But I am a witness of the object. And to realize this is called enlightenment. So enlightenment is a life of no interference. So there was a man, he was a businessman. He leaves the village and he goes on for his business, and he comes back home. He comes back late in the night. He comes back late in the night. He comes to his house, his street, and he sees his house is burning. He's on fire. Then he's distraught. Okay? He's distraught and he's crying. And from behind him, his son calmly comes. His son comes and he taps on his shoulder from behind and he's crying. And he cries to his son, "Son, our house is getting burnt." The son smiles and tells, "Father, why are you getting so worried? I sold the house last week." Remember, we had so many buyers. I made the deal, the house is sold. It's not our house anymore. Okay? That instant, this person becomes, that instant he becomes calm. Like a whole, the weight, he's become very light. Okay, why? What he thought as mine is no longer mine. The house is still burning. Just because his realization happened, nothing changed the burning of the house. The house is still burning, but he's not affected anymore. Why? Because it's no longer his house. Now he's able to go and take water. There are so many people trying to address the fire. Earlier, he was crying. He was useless. Now he is enthusiastic. He wants to help. So same thing happens in enlightenment. Whatever you thought as you, I, me, mine dissolves. Okay? You realize yourself as pure awareness, not a subject, not an object. Okay? And the interference of the mind, there's an interference coming from the mind. Earlier, there was an interference coming from the mind, right? The interference was constantly coming, past, future, present, right? Mind is constantly making noise. Mind is constantly creating illusions. That constant creation of illusion of the mind is destroyed or stops. That's called manonasha. The mind doesn't get destroyed. The interference of the mind stops. Okay? Is it clear? Any doubts? Now, the question is, so before I go to the, is this process, is it a process or is it instantaneous? Before we go to that part, what is enlightenment is clear? So in all the enlightened people illustration, right, comic books or movies, there's a light shown behind. You know why they put the light? Have you seen? So even in the painting of Amma, I've drawn a light behind. Right? Do you see? Have you seen that? In the picture of Buddha, there's a light behind. You know why they put the light behind? To tell that I am the light of awareness. I am not thinking I'm a subject anymore. I'm the body. I am aware of even the body and the mind and the role. Okay? I am no longer the subject. I am aware of both the subject and the object. I am the light of awareness. Any doubts? So what is enlightenment is clear? Everybody, Deepak, Anita?
Yeah.
Yes, Guruji.
What is it, Anita? What is enlightenment?
Enlightenment.
Is people think, so they think all sorts of mystical, magical things. Enlightenment means I should be able to see God, then I'll see some bright light, then I'll see, whatever you see is an object. Right? Then I'll get some powers, I can fly in the air, then I can read somebody's mind. Right? So your own mind is an illusion. Your own mind is an object. Then why will you want to read somebody else's mind? So there are all so many misconceptions about enlightenment. And enlightenment is not an experience. Why? All experiences are
Mithya.
temporary. All experiences are objects. Experience is an object. If enlightenment is an experience, it becomes an object. Okay? And enlightenment, I can never get. Because if I get it, I will lose it. For example, a job I can get. I'm unemployed, I can get a job. I am single, I can get married. I don't have a car, I can get a car. So that means I didn't have it at a point of time, then I did something, then I got it. But whatever I get, I will lose. That is a law of nature. Anything else you can permanently get? Whatever you get, you will lose. And death will ultimately take away everything. Okay? So that means if enlightenment is also a achievement, a getting, I will lose it. So enlightenment is not an achievement. It's not something that I get, that I don't have and I get it. It is a recognition of that which is my nature already. I am falsely thinking I am the body and mind. Now, with the teaching of the Guru, the teaching of the Guru is called Paroksha Gnana. First thing the Paroksha Gnana does is, it reduces the interference of your mind. So what is the impact of Paroksha Gnana? Paroksha Gnana reduces the interference of the mind. Earlier, the mind is constantly interfering. In any perception, it interferes. Okay? Whatever you look at, whatever you perceive, you jump from the present moment object, perception, immediately into the past or future, where there is no object. There is only imagination. So practically, you live in imagination, not in reality. True or false? Okay. So Paroksha Gnana, this is why the Guru is teaching. There's the process of Shravana. The Paroksha Gnana brings the mind to the present moment. It clarifies the doubt. And it reduces the interference of the mind. Okay. Then the Paroksha Gnana gives the ability for you, for the self, for you to stay as witness and objectify even the body, mind, intellect, and identity. Until Paroksha Gnana comes in your life, you will be subject. You will be I, me, mine. You understand? पन्ना जी समझ में आ रहा है? हैवी हो गया क्या? समझ में आ रहा है जो मैं बोल रहा हूं? तो until the teaching of the Guru comes into your life, you will never be able to objectify yourself. You will objectify everybody else. Everybody is an object to you, except you. Okay, you think I am the subject. My body is body is me. My mind is me. I, me, mine. Okay, and about the I, me, mine, you will always have blind spot. That is the story of Mahabharata, Dhritarashtra. The king Dhritarashtra is blind. One is he's physically blind, and the second is it represents spiritual blindness. In the blindness, in the internal blindness, so what Dhritarashtra does is, whatever his sons do, he is blind towards that. He is compassionate towards that. Why? Because they're my son, my children. Okay? Now, the same thing is all our life. Okay? When it comes to me, so that's why when husband and wife have a fight, no? None of them are able to see from the other person's point of view. Both of them think they're right. Then they need a third person called counselor. The counselor has to come and take them out of their shoes and put them in the other person's shoes and see. Okay? Then I am right, I am right, I am right, I am right. Okay, then when we were growing up, there was a series, TV series called Tutu Meme. Okay, Hindi series called Tu Tu Maine. So the daughter-in-law and the mother-in-law constantly fighting. So this constant I am right happens because you have a blind spot. You cannot be wrong. Why? Because you cannot see it at all. You cannot see the games played by your own mind. You understand? So the Paroksha Gnana brings the ability to objectify the body, the mind, the intellect, and the identity. Okay? Then, and that is Paroksha Gnana is a process. It's a process. It's Shravana, Manana, Nidhyasa. Shravana, Manana, Nidhyasa. It's a process. It is time. Okay? Then that process, in that process, at some point of time, aparoksha gnana happens. Aparoksha gnana means now you are so clear, the mind has become so clear that you realize that I am not the mind, I am not the body, I am not the identities. Okay, why? Because earlier you have been able to witness the mind and witness the body, witness the identities. Earlier, probably you sat down, you've closed your eyes, and you have become a witness of the mind. Okay? You've also witnessed that at some point of time, you were able to witness of the mind, and the mind will become object. And there's some part, some time in your sitting in trying to meditate, you got dragged to the mind and you become the subject. Both you were able to witness. Then you're able to infer, oh, that's right. I am not the mind. At some point, I'm choosing to become the mind because of my force, because of my impression. But at some time, because of the Paroksha Gnana, because of Guru's teaching and grace, I'm able to witness the mind without getting dragged by the mind. Okay? And this Shravana Manana, this process of Paroksha Gnana culminates into Aparoksha Gnana or Aparoksha Anubhuti, where you self declare. It's a self declaration. Okay, nobody else will come and give you a testament. So how this is you when you go to somebody's house, somebody offers you lunch, you eat lunch, and they say, okay, now I'll give you dessert, but you say, no, I'm full. Okay, that I am full, only you know. No, the other person, there's no way to know that you are full. Okay, you know you're full. In the same way, you know the truth. You don't need any gurus, any gods, any institution certificate. You intuitively know the mind has become the Vidyate Hriday Granthi. The Hriday Granthi is the knots in the heart is cleared. Sarva Samshaya, all doubts are cleared. And Tasmin Drishte Paravare. Now you see, don't think you see something new now. Don't think the enlightened person sees a new tree, new sky. No. They see the same sky, but without interference of the mind. But when you see the sky, you'll see the sky. Oh, there's no sunlight. When I was in India, it was so nice. There was sunlight throughout the day. You don't see, the moment you see the sky, you stop seeing the sky. You've already seen your past. So there was a Zen master who said, before enlightenment, so this one disciple asked him, what happened to you after enlightenment? This before enlightenment, I used to go into the forest, I used to cut wood, I used to come back, I used to cook food, I used to eat, I used to sleep. Okay. Oh, then what has changed after enlightenment? After enlightenment, I go to the forest, I cut wood, I cook food, I eat, I sleep. Then disciple asks, it's exactly the same. What is the difference? The difference is this time I know that I'm not doing anything. Okay. This time my mind is not interfering. So please don't think enlightenment will change something in life. Enlightenment will only remove the cataract. The cataract called impressions, called mind, called false identity, called false ego. Okay? It'll remove the interference in perception. Is it clear? And that removal of interference happens instantaneously. And that instantaneous happening is called aporoksha anubhuti. Okay? But paroksha gnana is a process. So now, is enlightenment instantaneous or is enlightenment takes time? The analogy given is there is a mango. Now it's mango season. There's a mango in the tree, and the mango's ripening. Now it's fully ripe. It's ripe, and a crow comes and sits on the tree. The moment the crow comes and sits on the tree, the mango falls. Now that's how enlightenment happens. The falling is instantaneous, but the ripening is time bound. You understand? You understand? So enlightenment is to realize I am the self. You don't become the self. Realizing I am the self is instantaneous. It is this moment. Right now you realize. Okay? But to come to that point where right now you realize, it is Baunam Janmanam Ante Gnanavan Mam Prapadyate. To come to the point to meet a guru who will bring you crystal clear clarity, it takes a lot of time. But once you come to that point, it's instantaneous. It's this moment. So who asked this question? Whether it's process or is it instantaneous? Was it Deepak? You asked the question? Somebody had this question, no? Is it instantaneous or is it process? Or was the question different? Radhika, was it your question?
I mean, my question was whether it's the person's effort or it's grace,
Okay.
but it answers. Yeah. It
Okay.
is a process, but then it requires grace to reach that point, is what I understood.
I'll clarify that. So the vasana kshaya is a process. Okay. That is the reduction of the interference happens progressively. Okay. So earlier, why it's progressively? Because it's within time and space. So, for example, before getting paroksha gnana, there's a lot of interference of the mind. And because there's a lot of interference of the mind, there is kama, krodha, lobha, moha, mada, matsarya. Okay, there's disturbance. Okay, the mind is in a constant state of disturbance. And the mind is in a constant state of program. It's overridden by program. You don't even understand that you're in program. So yesterday I was watching a Bollywood movie where this boy falls in love with a robot. And he's taking the robot to meet his parents, Indian parents. And he is training the robot how to behave in the Indian family. So he's giving the program to the girl, the robot. The robot is a girl. And he's telling the robot that if somebody gives you money, what will you do? The robot tells, I'll take it. Then the person says, no, you should not take it. You should take it, but first you should tell, no, I don't want it. I don't want it. Okay? You should tell, nahi chahiye. Then you should take it. You should make them force you, and then you should take it. It's a program. So a robot needs that programming, right? In the same way, our minds have been conditioned from childhood. Okay, without paroksha gnana, you live in that programming as if that programming is real. You never question whether I am programming or am I real. You always think whatever I'm thinking is it is the way of the world. It is how I am. It is the way of the world, without ever questioning whether it's real or whether it's a program or not. And you react. So from that, you come to a more non-reactive state, non-disturbed or silent state, or a peaceful state. Not all the time, but the earlier, if you were getting if somebody told something, you would be disturbed for 1 week, 1 month. After paroksha gnana, that duration will reduce to 1 day or maybe 2 days. Earlier, you used to be disturbed for 1 week. Now you will be disturbed for 1 day. Okay. Earlier, if an emotion took over you, you had great intensity. Okay. After paroksha gnana, that intensity reduces. Okay. You become handicapped from the inside. Even if you want, you can't really react. Okay. And that reactions reduce. You become more aware and you're able to take right action, meaning the mind becomes clear, free from the impressions. The impressions will rise, but at the same time, along with the impression rising, the impression of the guru also will rise. The bad samskara will rise, but the good samskara immediately will rise and cancel out each other. And you're able to react less. So that is progressive. That happens progressively. And then aparoksha gnana. In aparoksha gnana, the impressions get flushed out. Aparoksha gnana is known as, Krishna tells, param shantim adhigacchati. You will realize my nature. You will not attain peace. Okay? You realize my nature is peace. My nature is awareness. I am Sat Chit Ananda Shivoham. That is called aparoksha anubhuti. Okay? Is it clear so far? Paroksha gnana, process, aparoksha anubhuti, instantaneous. And enlightenment is aparoksha anubhuti. Okay? And there is a progressively you're getting liberated. You're getting liberated from concepts, free from many concepts. Ultimately, you become free from all concepts. That is called mukti. Mukti means, it's called jivan mukti. When you're alive, you become free from all concepts. When I say become free from concept, you start seeing concepts as concepts and not as reality. You don't take a concept to be reality. Is it clear? Now, does this happen because of my effort or God's grace? Okay. Now, did the mango fall because of the ripening of the mango or the crow sitting? If the mango hadn't ripened and the crow sits, does the mango fall? If the crow doesn't sit, mango is ripened, does the mango fall? Both have to happen. The ripening has to happen and the crow has to sit. Both will give to the falling to happen. So is it happening because of my effort? So if you're asking the question, that means still you have not understood doership. Okay. When you come to the understanding of doership, that I am not the doer, then where is my effort anymore? This question is coming, still I have doership. अरे मैंने इतना सारा कुछ किया, पूजा पाठ किया और साधना किया, उन सब का क्या? Right? I still have doership. But enlightenment is dropping doership. Right? In Paroksha Gnana, you drop doership because you realize with the teaching of the Guru that you're not the doer. When you're not the doer, then what have you done? Right? But enlightenment, of course, the real answer is Bahunam Janmanamante. After many, many births of Punya Karma, of sadhana, of seva, of suffering, of cooking, of boiling, of intense desire for Bhagwan realization, of all that ripening. It's a ripening. Without the ripening, will not happen. Somebody has come onto the spiritual path. It's not arbitrary. Please understand. It's not just like that. It's not by luck. It is because of past momentum. That is true for anything in life, right? Somebody goes on to become a Mark Zuckerberg or a world leader. It's all past momentum. It's not that lifetime's work. Okay. Same thing for the spiritual path. It's all past momentum. And that past momentum ultimately leads you to a Sadguru. And then Moksha Moolam Guru Kripa. So the enlightenment happens because because of your ripening. Okay. Then dropping that doership. Okay. Now this answer is not to reinforce your doing again. I'm not telling this, okay, because there is some role for you to play. No. That's why Krishna tells, Sarva Dharman Parityajya means drop all concepts, drop all doing. Okay, enlightenment happens, it's a non-doing. No doing can lead to enlightenment. But enlightenment doesn't happen without doing. You understand? So the doing prepares you for enlightenment and it purifies you. The doing does some, which brings some evolution. But that evolution or that all the doing culminates into master, Sadguru. So what is the phala of all the doing? What is the phala of all your efforts?
Mind becomes free of vasanas. Yeah.
Phala of all the doing is you will get a master. That is the phala. All sadhana is so that you get Sadguru. Once Sadguru you get, the Moksha Moolam Guru Kripa. The Guru gives the teaching and the teaching liberates you. Okay, teaching is Paroksha Gnana. The teaching leads to Aparoksha Gnana. Is the answer clear? So what is enlightenment? Then the process of enlightenment. What is the process of enlightenment? Process of enlightenment, Shravana, Manana, Nidhyasa. Okay? The process of enlightenment is the enlightenment needs the enlightened teaching. It needs, otherwise I have a blind spot. I cannot see, I cannot identify myself as, I cannot objectify myself. I always live as a subject because there's a I am feeling which I cannot deny. The Guru will bring the illumination that become aware of the I am. When you become aware of the I am, you realize that I am is also an object. But if I am is an object, then what am I really? What I think I am is also an object. Then what is real me? Then the Guru gives a teaching. The real me is Tat Brahman. You are that supreme reality. And with this teaching, Tattvamasi, you are Brahman. And Shravanamana Nidhyasa, answering the questions, clarifying the doubts in the mind, leads to Aparoksha Anubhuti, which is enlightenment, which is instantaneous. Okay. Then people say that I got enlightened on this date. Okay, such and such a day I got enlightened. Now that is just only from a transactional point of view. In reality, that person, one, there's no more person there. There's no such thing as enlightened person, because enlightenment means no person anymore. Okay, enlightenment means realizing that person is also an appearance. Enlightenment really means that even enlightenment is an illusion. So it's like this: somebody is in a dream. In your dream, you have gone to Paris, and Paris is you are in some probably a notorious part of the city, and there you get kidnapped and tortured. Then the police come and uh, they raid the place. The moment they raid the place, you wake up from the dream. When you wake up from the dream, then the question in the dream, the day when you became free because of the police was February 10th, 2014. Okay? But when you wake up from the dream, you've already gone into a different time dimension. That entire time dimension doesn't exist anymore. That entire space doesn't exist anymore. That problem, the liberation, both doesn't exist anymore. You understand? You have woken up from the dream. So, from the person who was woken up, from his point of view, it's meaningless to say, I was suffering and I woke up. No. Because his realization is, I was never suffering. It was always a dream. You understand? Neither was a suffering, neither was I liberated. Because it was always a dream. Nothing ever really was happening. That is the state of enlightenment. Where you realize all these concepts are in the realm of time and space. But in the true sense, when you become free from the ignorance, avidya, you realize that is what was the reality all the time. You were never unenlightened. You were never ignorant. It was just a dream. Okay? And that is aparoksha, anubhuti, or enlightenment, or jivan mukti. They all mean the same thing. Any doubts? Was there any other question regarding enlightenment that I missed? Now the process of enlightenment. Okay. So Deepak asked the question, what can I do daily? Like, what can I do? So I say aparoksha anubhuti is a moment of clarity. Okay, now I got paroksha gnana. There's a gap between paroksha gnana and aparoksha gnana. What happens in between? So what happens in between is a progression, a growth. So you have three states: waking, dreaming, and deep sleep. Right? This is a common experience. All of you have waking state, dream state, deep sleep state. Now with paroksha gnana, with the teaching, you go into the fourth state. It's called turiya. Turiya is you are able to become silent. The mind is able to become silent in the waking state. Because of the teaching of the master or presence of the master, or observation of breath, or some practice or meditation, you're able to make the mind silent. Meaning you're able to get the deep sleep state experience in the waking state experience. Is it clear? The deep sleep state experience in the waking state experience. This is called samadhi. It's the fourth state. But it's also a state because you can't stay there all the time. You have to come back into interacting with the world. Okay? Sometimes you go, you sit, mind becomes silent, and again you come back and interact with the world. Then, because of Paroksha Gnana, you go into the next level where you realize now you're not only just becoming silent, you are becoming Sakshi. Now, Sakshi is with eyes closed or eyes open, doesn't matter. You're able to witness, you're able to be more of a witness of the body, witness of the mind, witness of your speech, witness of your thought, witness of your movement. So the example I gave is, earlier you were ignorant. So one day there was a Buddha is giving a teaching. He's giving a talk. In the talk, there are many emperors, because Buddha was a king himself who became a monk. There were many kings who would come and sit and listen to him. There was one king who is a VIP guest who's sitting in the front. He's constantly shaking his leg. Okay. Then Buddha looks at him. Buddha looks at his leg. He stops the talk. He stops talking and he looks at his leg. Then the person, because Buddha is looking at him, and everybody starts looking at him now. Then he starts looking, what am I doing wrong? What am I doing wrong? Then he'll see that, okay, I'm shaking my leg. Then he stops shaking his leg. Then again, Buddha starts speaking. Then he gets lost into listening. His legs start shaking again. Right? You've seen those people who keep on shaking their leg or doing something, okay, unconsciously doing, constantly moving some part of the body. देखा है पन्ना जी आपने? पैर हिलते रहता है या तो वो पेन घूमते रहता है, कुछ तो करते रहते हैं. Right? Have you seen Radhika, Deepak? Right?
Yes.
Again, Buddha looks at him. He stops the talk. Then again, this person gets embarrassed. He stops shaking his leg. Again, he does the same thing. Again, Buddha stops. Then Buddha asks him, why are you shaking your leg? The king tells, Maharaj, I don't know. It just happens. Buddha asks him, is it your leg? Is it your leg only? It's your leg, right? He says, yes, it is my leg. Then if you say, I don't know, my leg is doing something, tomorrow you will kill somebody and tell, I don't know, my hand did something. Right? Which is what happens in the case of people, right? They do something unconsciously, then they realize, oh, I did it. While they're doing it, they don't realize, because that force of the vasana has blinded them. After they've done that, they say, oh, how did it? Why did I? So I don't know what came over me. I said something or I did something. Okay. So from that unconscious life, you become sakshi, more conscious. More sakshi comes into your life. Sakshi in meditation, sakshi with eyes open. That is the 5th stage. Is it clear? Jagrata, swapna, sushupti, samadhi, sakshi. Is it clear? Now I'm telling the progression between paroksha gnana to aparoksha anubhuti. Then from sakshi, you're becoming sakshi, becoming more aware. Not now, because this person earlier, now he's become aware of the body, mind, breath, the unconsciousness of the body, mind, and breath. But he's now able to not only become aware of the gross, the body is gross, okay, but what is operating the body is something subtle, which is energy. Okay, this person is now able to become aware at the energy level. He's able to observe the body at the more energy level, more subtle level. Not only the body, but the totality. Okay, he's able to become aware of the totality at the energy level. And he's able to experience that oneness of the totality. This is called God realization, where there is no more the concept that I am split there's still a concept of ego, but there's a feeling of connectedness with the totality. That is called God realization. But that is also still within the realm of Maya. Why? Because there's still an ego left. And there's still duality. I am there, world is there. Then beyond that, that duality drops. Now there's no more duality. There's no I, there's no world. And there's no experience. Because experience is also an object. Now there's a pure awareness. And that's called Sahaja Samadhi or enlightenment or Aparokshanubhuti. Now, I'm telling you all of this not to define that these are the steps 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is how somebody will climb. No. Somebody can just listen and get Aparokshanubhuti, intellect can become clear and free instantaneously. Okay? For somebody, the moment of Paroksha Gnana can be the moment of Aparoksha Gnana. Okay? It depends on the type of disciple. There are 3 types of disciples. Uttama, Madhyama, Adama. For an Uttama disciple, Paroksha Gnana and Aparoksha Gnana are same moment. The Guru tells Tattvamasi, that is Paroksha Gnana. He realizing, I am that Aparoksha Anubhuti, same time. There is no stages, no Samadhi, no nothing. No purification, no sadhana, no intermediary, no time, no space. In the presence of the Master, he realizes. That's what happened to Janaka Maharaja with Ashtavakra. So Ashtavakra and Janaka have a conversation. Just within few minutes, Janaka Maharaja is established in Atma. Okay? That is Uttama category. That's why your batch name is Videha Janaka batch. It's Uttama, highest level of disciple. For the Madhyama person, there's a possibility somebody will go through various stages. And of course, the person who needs more work might go through various processes of purification and meditation realization. Okay, but this is not a requisite for enlightenment. The only thing that is a requisite for enlightenment is what? Shravana. Listening to the master. That's all. That liberates. In and out. Because that points out, because what is the teaching of the master ultimately? Always the master only trying to tell one thing. You are not the body. You are not the mind. You are not the intellect. You are self. Now, any question you ask, the fact that you're asking question, you've already slipped into some identity, some concept. Again, in the trying to answer that question, the master brings back to you the understanding that you are not, what you're saying is not real. You're seeing it in the wrong way. You understand? So that is the stages of, possible stages of realization. But it is not necessary that everybody has to go through the stages. Some people can directly jump to Sahaja Samadhi. So any doubts? Is enlightenment clear? Deepak, Anita, Radhika?
All good, Guruji.
Clear?
No questions, Guruji. Yeah.
So enlightenment is, have you heard this? So in our elders, right? Our elders bless. So the elders bless Shatayur Bhava. Have you heard? You know what is Shatayur Bhava?
100 years.
So you live 100 years. Is that a blessing or a curse? To live 100 years is a blessing or a curse?
Curse.
It's a curse. How many of you say it's a curse? Deepak, is it a blessing or a curse?
Not a blessing.
Anita?
I think the meaning is different, which I think you're going to untangle.
Please understand, the entire system of Sanatana Dharma has nothing to do with the physical. Okay? Shatayur Bhava. So I told you last time, Shataputra Bhava. What is Shataputra
Yeah,
Bhava?
that I know.
Right? I told you that last
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
What is Shataputra Bhava?
It is create 100 more self-realized person. Like, it is not literally 100 kids. It is actually, how can you have 100 more followers?
Not followers. You light 100 more lamps. What lamp?
Correct.
Jyot se Jyot Jaga. Right? There is Shataputra Bhava. Then Shatayur Bhava is not that you live 100 years. Okay, you live 100 years, 1,000 years ignorant, it's useless. But you live each moment 100% without the interference of your vasanas. You don't live the moment even 10% because the moment is clouded. The present moment is your gift. The present is life, is the only reality. But the present gets completely distorted with your thinking, with your overthinking. So, how much of the present have you captured or lived? Anda, 0%. Because whatever you see in the present moment, you will label it, you will judge it, you will jump into, oh, this moment is not nice. I will look forward for the next moment. Okay, what am I doing in the house? I should be in the beach. I should be in the vacation. Okay. The mind is not in the present. Mind is either in the past or in the future. You understand? So Shatayur Bhava means live each moment 100%. That is called enlightenment. The enlightened person is in the moment. He's not in the past, not in the future. He's in the moment completely, 100%. And in that 100%, he is able to respond to that, the requirement of the moment totally. And that is why when he leaves that moment doesn't carry forward as an impression. But any moment, any day that you go through, you have not lived that day. That day is just the day is superimposed with noise, right? And when you leave the day, the next day carries the pain that you lost the previous day. Okay, कल कुछ भी नहीं किया मैंने, right? ये कर सकता था, वो कर सकता था. That you realize after some years, when you go far away from the day, when the day goes 5 years behind, you'll realize, what did I do that time? I should have lived. Now I'm old. I should have lived that time. You think like that? That was the best time. Now I'm stuck here. Again, you're losing this day, which you will look at this day when you're cribbing sometime in the future and tell, this day was the best day. till when? Until you die, when you'll tell, my whole life I had the opportunity to be joyful, but I wasn't joyful. You understand? Any doubts? So people tell that God will ask you. So in the other religions, there is a concept that when you go, God will ask you a question. What did you do? Right? Actually, the question is not formed fully. The question that God will ask you is, I gave you infinite opportunities to be joyful and happy and peaceful. क्या किया तुमने? Right? So you have lived how many years now? 30, 40 years, right? So if I ask you, how many moments of joy were there in your life? You'll remember few instances, something great instances. What about the rest of the time? The rest of the time is suffering? पन्ना जी, प्रश्न समझ में आ गया? Your joy is only in the weekend. You don't even consider 5 days weekday as joy. It is not joy. Only weekend is joy. Or only vacation is joy. Your joy is conditioned. It has something has to be a certain way. I have to be in a certain way. Everything has to be in a certain way. I have to eat a certain kind of food. I have to dress a certain kind of way. I have to look a certain way. So many conditioning. Like how girls have conditioning, no, to get married. If I have to get married, he should have 1 crore package. Then he should have 6 packs. Then at least he should be 6'5". Then he should be able to play volleyball, football, then cricket, and he should be a swimmer. What then? What else? He should have property. He should have gold. He should have Lamborghini. That conditions will never match. In the same way, the conditions that your mind has to be happy will never match. So just remove the one who's putting the conditioning, no, and be happy. Okay? That removal of this interference is joy. So Shataputra Bhava, yes, Shatayur Bhava means live 100% this moment, which is the only reality. Okay? The past is not real, the future is not real. When the future comes, it'll come as this moment. This moment is only reality. Live this totally, but you cannot live it totally because you have interference. So remove the interference, then you will be able to live this moment totally. That is called, and the ancestor is blessing you. May you get a guru or a grace so that you will be able to live each moment 100%. And that is what Sri Krishna was. That is what Buddha was. That is what an enlightened being is. Is it clear? Any doubts? And the only gap is mind. Krishna tells in the Gita, the problem of spirituality, the problem of life is mind. Not God, not husband, not wife, not your education, not your past experiences, not anything. It is simply your mind. So Krishna tells in the Gita, Mana eva karanam manushyanam bandha mokshayo. The mind is the cause for bondage. Mind is the cause for liberation. Now, the mind is a cause for bondage when the mind is subject. Mind becomes liberation when you objectify the mind and when you witness the mind. You understand? Is it hard to witness the mind? Is everybody clear that mind is object, not a subject? Radhika, is it clear?
Yes, Guruji. Yeah.
Mind is object. That means, what is mind?
I can witness my thoughts. Like, for example, if I get angry, and then just a few seconds after, if I just sit quietly and think why I was angry, I can.
Or who gets
That
angry?
that ego.
Ego is ego you.
No.
Why do you say when I get angry?
For transactional purposes, I have to use a word. So I used I.
Okay, but you realize that I never get angry.
No. Yeah. I realize.
Anger rises. It is the nature of the body. It falls.
Yeah.
And I am a non-judgmental witness. I will not say anger should not rise. That is also ego telling. Ego tells I am spiritual now. Anger should not rise in me. No. The Sakshi witnesses whatever comes. Anger comes, let it come. It's part of nature. Right? And anger will die on its own. The moment you judge it, it should not happen. Then again you fall into ego. You understand? So witness means So objectifying the mind means a non-judgmental outlook on the internal ongoing on the body. Body is pain, pleasure. Both pain and pleasure, witness. Don't say it should be there, it should not be there. Nothing. No preference. No conditioning. It is what it is. Okay? Witness. Then mind. Mind is disturbance, emotion. Anger, hate, jealousy, whatever is there, you witness, no. It is nature. Witness. Don't say it should not be there. Why am I getting such bad thoughts? I should be spiritual. My mind should be pure. All that is again a concept of the mind. Again, is a game of the mind. Just witness it. And intellect. Oh, I am not enlightened. I don't know so many things. Guruji can speak so nicely for 1 hour. I cannot speak for 2 minutes. Then Guruji can tell shlokas. I cannot tell shlokas. All that is intellect. He can explain the concept. I cannot explain anything. All that is intellect. Witness that. Then you'll realize, oh, I'm the witness. And life changes then. That moment is enlightenment. When you realize I am that self, I am Brahman, the witness, nobody can take that away from you. Then the body can continue. Body will continue it with its pattern. Mind will continue. So mind has two types of vasanas. Okay, it has bandha vasana and bhoga vasana. Okay, bandha vasana, bhoga vasana. You understand? Everybody understands vasana. Vasana is programming. Parna ji, vasana शब्द समझ में आ गया ना? Vasana means programming, impression. The impressions are of two types. That which binds you, and then there is bhoga vasana. Bhoga vasana is some experiences. Now, enlightenment doesn't mean all vasanas will get wiped out. Enlightenment means bandha vasana will get wiped out. Bhoga vasana will remain. You understand? So, enlightenment doesn't mean your system will get formatted or your system will shut down. No. Or your memory will get erased. No. It is just the wrong identification will be removed. The bandha, that which is causing your wrong notions, that is removed. That I am the body, I am the mind, I am the ego, that is removed. Then whatever is left, the data will remain. That this is tree, this is house, everything will remain. Okay, you will continue with the ongoings. Earlier, when the ego rises, you used to become the ego. Now, you will use the ego. Okay. Earlier, you would possess, the ego will possess you. Now, you will use it like a tool because you identified as an object. It's not a subject. You will use it and withdraw it when you don't need it. Earlier, you cannot withdraw it. There was no option of withdrawing. It would always be there, creating noise, constant noise. Now, you use it because without using it, you can't interact with the world. You understand the difference? So the enlightened being has become free from all concepts, has become free from ego, but the ego has not died. Ego cannot die. In the sense, if it dies, you cannot interact with the world. You need some identity to interact with the world. But the enlightened one takes a conscious identity. Earlier, it was an unconscious force. So Siddhartha, Prince Siddhartha, has an unconscious force. Okay, that makes him do so much sadhana and torture the body and all that. Once he becomes enlightened, he becomes a Buddha, he consciously takes the identity of a guru. It's a conscious identity that he takes, but that doesn't possess him or disturb him. You understand? He uses it as a tool. So what is after enlightenment is the only thing that will change is one, the thought patterns, the unconscious thought patterns have reduced. Mind has become silent. There is deep inner clarity of who am I? I am Brahman, and the world is appearance. Okay. Now, what is the world? The world is also my own self. Okay. Ego is a tool. I use the tool to interact with the world as long as the body lasts. Okay. Any doubts in this? So I've tried to give you a whole spectrum, the entire enlightenment outline completely. Have I left out any loose ends? So Radhika, is it clear? Clarify your question.
Yes, Guruji. So
Who are
even
you?
an enlightened, I am, sorry, this is the body, mind, and intellect that is speaking with you, but constantly
Who is answering?
the Brahman,
Brahman doesn't answer.
the body is answering.
So,
Radhika is answering.
are you Radhika?
The Sakshi, I'm not Radhika,
Okay. So
but yeah.
this is paroksha gnana. You have to sit and become aware of the I am feeling. Okay. Then you realize that I am is also an object. You take yourself too seriously because you think you exist because of the I am feeling. You take your thoughts very seriously, your life very seriously because, oh, I am there. What about me? You go and question that me. You go and look at that me. That me is is ultimately a feeling of me in here, this part, chest area. So just become aware of the I am feeling here, and stay with that I am. That I am will lead you to the real I, which is beyond the I am. Okay, that is called aparoksha gnana. Anita, is it clear? Enlightenment is clear?
Yes, Guruji.
Are you enlightened?
I've listened to I've done Shravana, so
Are
I'm
you
at least on the
enlightened?
first step towards.
Are you enlightened or not? Yes or no answer? No, no other answer.
Yes.
Deepak, are you enlightened?
How do, how do I answer that?
Yes or no answer? Are you enlightened? And what is enlightenment? I've explained. From based on what I explained, are you enlightened?
Yes.
Radhika, are you enlightened?
This moment, yes. It's just that anubhuti.
No, no.
That
Yes,
anubhuti, knowledge has sunk in, but and the anubhuti
no.
is
Yes
there.
or no answer? No stories. Yes or no?
Are you enlightened? I mean,
Yes or no?
I think no, no.
No.
Now,
Okay.
no.
Why no? Who are you?
That is what I mean. I understand this with my intellect, but I'm not able to that body mind. That thing is, I'm not able to see the body mind intellect as an object. I, in the sense,
What you're not able to see? Body is not an object.
no, I can't see the mind and the intellect as an object.
Why not? Mind is not thought is not an object. You can see the thought. You know the thought.
Yeah.
It's an object, no? What you know, it's an object. Is it always there?
Yeah.
Is it there? Always there? Your mind is always there?
No, while sleeping in deep sleep, it's not
Okay.
there.
So it's an object. What is hard in that to understand?
Yeah, but if I say I'm enlightened, then it'll be wrong, because the moment I close this session, I come out of the session, I'll be again entangled into
Ah,
I, in the sense, the transactional Radhika will be
this is the
entangled into all kind of other activities. That ego will arise again, that attachment, that worry, stress, all will arise again. Although I understand within me, the subconscious mind understands that I'm not all of that. But to constantly think about it all the time is not that practice hasn't yet. I've not reached that stage yet. Intellectually, I am 100% fine with this, but then I think Shravana, Manana is fine. Nididhyasana is something that I have to practice.
See, this is the game of the mind. You have not even gone into the future, and you already have a predestined future. And who is predestining it for you?
The mind.
Mind. And what is mind? A bundle of programs. You're allowing a bundle of program to dictate your future, right? How do you know? How do you know that probably this, after the session, maybe this will become more clear? Why isn't that a possibility? You don't know. No? Nobody knows what happens in the future, but except the mind. Only two people know what happens in the future: the mind and wife. ओके पन्ना जी, कल ये आदमी ऐसा ही बोलेगा, मेरे को छिड़ाएगा, मुझे मालूम है. Right? Only two people know and predict the future. Three people: astrologers, mind, and wife. They are very clear what's going to happen tomorrow. So you look at the game of the mind. Do you understand? So now, from this moment, only this moment, forget about past, future. First of all, you don't know if you're going to be alive tomorrow. Okay, this moment, right now, are you enlightened? Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay, Manuji, Manu Chadda, you listening, or you're not able to go on audio video? Biplavji, Shantiji, are you enlightened?
Yes, 100%.
Pannaji,
Yes.
Bina,
Yes and no, both.
that is are you enlightened? How can you be yes and no? You'll think I'm telling I'm boy and girl both. You're a fluid gender, is it?
Yeah, that also.
Gender fluidity. Are you enlightened? You can either be
Well,
awake or you can either be asleep. You can't be both.
I am just stuck on one particular thing. When you gave the example of when you're eaten so much and when you're full, nobody else can tell that for you that you are full. Only we would know from within that I'm full now.
Yeah.
I can't eat anymore. So similarly, I feel that has to come from within, that yes, I know that I'm full, or I feel that I'm liberated now.
Yeah. So now what is the answer? Yes or no?
That's why I said yes and no both.
How it can be yes? How can you be full and not full at the same time? Either you're full or you're not. You tell no. Tell either I'm full or I'm not full. How can it be both I'm full and I'm not full? Two stomachs you have or what?
Okay,
Sorry,
no.
Guruji, sorry to interrupt. I couldn't speak before because I couldn't come off mute. So I know you asked me 2 questions, but I couldn't answer. I'm sorry for that.
No problem. Were you? Did you listen to the session, Manuji?
Yeah. I was listening in, but I just couldn't go off mute. I don't know. And then I had to disconnect and connect again.
So are you enlightened?
Yes, after all the discussion, I can say I'm instantaneously enlightened.
So
I
enlightenment
mean,
is
it's a difficult one, like everyone's already explained to you. But yes, after listening to you today, it did seem that it's not going to be a change in, your whole being. It's just your perceptions. But yeah, at this point in time, I do feel enlightened.
so enlightenment is just crystal clear clarity, and that's why it's called light. Enlightenment. You are filled with the light of clarity of who am I? I am. You realize I am that. First, you realize I am not the body. I am not the mind. Body's mind is object, identity object. That's one part of it. One part of it is negation. Why negation? Because you're so uh, identified with not non-self. First, you need to negate the non-self. Okay? You're so into subjectifying that which is an object. You need to first objectify all that you have subjectified. Okay, that itself solves most of the problem. Simply objectified all that which has been subjectified. Because, and you will find the moment you objectify it, you're clear about it. Like how you're clear about other people's problems because they're an object to you, you will become clear about the body mind the moment you make it an object. That's what Buddha did under the tree. Under the tree, he just became a witness. No more effort. He had already tried all effort. Now no more effort. Now I will only witness. Whatever he came, he just objectified it in the process of witnessing. Then came a point where no more objects appeared. Because the secret is the moment you observe the mind calms down. Mind becomes silent. The mind keeps on trying to get your attention. Okay? If you simply observe without getting involved in it, it starts throwing all strategies, all thoughts. If you simply observe it without without indulging, it calms down. And what remains is a pure awareness. In that pure awareness, you realize yourself as that awareness. Okay? That's it today. About enlightenment. Any other doubts? Naji, enlightenment is clear. So enlightenment is simply a no interference of the mind. Perception without interference. Pure perception. Pure awareness. No labeling, no breaking down the totality into world and me, into me and other. All that is done by the mind. It is just a non-dual reality. Where there's no two, where there's no split. The mind is not breaking things down. The mind is always splitting. First it splits. Okay, object, subject. Okay, the whole process of seeing and experiencing creates a seen and seer. Enlightenment is realized there is There is only pure seeing. Both the seen and seer are appearances. Anita, is it clear? So is Naveen also listening?
Not today, Guruji. We're in Bangalore, so he's had to step out this afternoon.
You're in Bangalore now.
Yes, we are. Yes, I actually wanted to come by in person, but then I can't brave the heat. It's just too hot.
Okay, yeah. Please, how long are you here for?
Another week, Guruji.
Okay, yeah. Please come over some anytime.
No, definitely, I will. I'll connect offline.
Yeah. So the children also have come?
Yeah, we're all here. They're trying not to melt.
Yeah, suddenly from the cold you have come to the sun.
I think I don't know if it's just us, but this year it just seems seems worse. Unbearable. The heat is unbearable.
Unbearable. Because so many enlightened people are there. Light is increasing.
Must be.
Okay, so before enlightenment, because you are rooted in ignorance, the whole world appears ignorant to you. Okay? After enlightenment, you don't see anybody unenlightened. That's what Buddha said after enlightenment. He said, after enlightenment, I realized everybody is a Buddha. Because what is Buddha, what is enlightenment, what is unenlightenment is only concept in your head. So it's like glasses. If you wear a red glass, the world appears red. Okay? The world is not red. Okay? Because of the glasses you're wearing, the world appears red. Now, because you're wearing the body, mind, intellect, the world appears a certain way. Now, after enlightenment, don't think the world will disappear. It's not like removing the glasses. If you remove the glasses, no perception is possible. The world will still appear red, but this time you will not take it as reality of the world. You understand the difference? Before enlightenment, you are wearing red glasses, you will tell the world is appearing red. Somebody is wearing yellow glasses, they'll tell the world is appearing yellow. You can never agree with that person who is wearing yellow glasses. That world is yellow. You will tell, no, world is red. That is the reality of the world. After enlightenment, you will realize world is neither red, neither yellow. What it is, I don't know. But I know that what I'm seeing is not the reality. You understand? What it is just it's just an appearance in consciousness. That's all I can say about it. You cannot comment anything more about the world, because to comment, again, the mind has to come up. The moment you comment, mind is come. You will just remain in a non judgmental, unconditional, pure experience. Whatever is happening, war. That's why in Krishna, in the Mahabharata, there's a war happening. He doesn't say what, he tries his best to avoid the war. But when the war happens, he's in total acceptance of that also. You understand? So enough for today's enlightening session. I hope the session was enlightening. We'll spend a few minutes as Sakshi, as a witness of body, mind, intellect, thought, and I am feeling. And then we'll close the session. Okay? Close your eyes. Become aware of the room that you're in. Become aware of the space inside the room. Now bring your awareness to the body. Become aware of the space inside the body. Become aware now of the top of the head. Become aware of your face. Become aware of neck. Become aware of your hands. Become aware of your legs. Become aware of the back. Now take your awareness to the center of the chest, where you feel I am. Become aware of the feeling of I am in you. Just sit, being aware of the feeling of I am. Just I am. If any thought comes into your mind, the past, future, or any other identity, just come back to the feeling of I am in the chest region. Asatoma Sadgamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amrutam Gamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Loka Samastha Sukhino Bhavantu. Loka Samastha Sukhino Bhavantu. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. My pranams to all. Slowly open your eyes.
Thank you, Guruji. Hari Om.
Hari Om. So next
Hari
next weekend we'll have a Bhagavad Gita session. This Atma Darshana session will continue next month.
Hari Om.
Thank you.
Hari Om Guruji.
Hari Om. Thank you, Guruji.
Hari Om.